Hello, curious minds. Joseph Kallinger was a serial killer who, along with his teenage son Michael, committed a series of heinous crimes in the mid-1970s. One of their most infamous and gruesome acts was the murder of 22-year-old nurse Maria Fashing. The murder of Maria Fashing. Maria Fashing was a young nurse working at Sacred Heart Hospital in Maryland. On March 23, 1975, she became a victim of Joseph Kallinger and his son Michael's violent spree. The Kallingers lured her into their web of horror by posing as potential homebuyers interested in a property they wanted her to show them. Once Maria was inside their vehicle, the father-son duo took her captive at knife point. They drove her to a remote area where they bound her and forced her to write a ransom note to her parents demanding $50,000 for her release. Joseph and Michael planned to collect the ransom and then kill Maria to eliminate any potential witnesses. Tragically, their sinister plan took an even darker turn. Joseph Kallinger brutally assaulted Maria, and despite her pleas for mercy, he brutally strangled her to death. After her murder, the Kallingers left her body in a ditch, covered with rocks and debris, before returning home to wait for the ransom money. The Kallingers then contacted Maria's parents, who notified the police. A massive search operation was launched, but it didn't take long for investigators to trace the ransom call back to the Kallinger residence. Suspicion quickly fell on Joseph and Michael. Upon their arrest, the Kallingers confessed to Maria Fashing's murder and provided gruesome details of their crime. The discovery of Maria's body confirmed their confession. In court, Joseph Kallinger stated that he believed killing Maria would prevent her from identifying them and testifying against them. Trial and conviction. In 1975, both Joseph and Michael Kallinger were found guilty of their involvement in the murder of Maria Fashing. Joseph was sentenced to life in prison, while Michael, who was only 16 at the time of the crime, was sent to a juvenile facility. The case of Joseph and Michael Kallinger stands as a chilling example of the depths of human depravity and the darkness that can reside within a father-son relationship. Their gruesome crimes shocked the nation and left a lasting impact on the field of criminology, highlighting the complexities of understanding the motives and psychology behind such heinous acts. Joseph Kallinger was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in 1935. He grew up in a troubled household with a father who was reportedly abusive and an alcoholic. Kallinger's childhood was marked by poverty and instability, factors that would play a role in shaping his later criminal behavior. Criminal history and imprisonment. Kallinger's criminal activities began at an early age. He engaged in various acts of theft, burglary, and fraud throughout his youth and adulthood. He had a history of trouble with the law, and his criminal record expanded as he grew older. Kallinger's violent tendencies were particularly evident during his interactions with his family. He was known for physically abusing his wife and children, perpetuating the cycle of violence that had plagued his own upbringing. Murderous Partnership. In the mid-1970s, Kallinger's criminal behavior escalated to the point of murder when he formed a murderous partnership with his teenage son, Michael. Together, they embarked on a violent spree of crimes that included burglary, assault, kidnapping, and murder. Their most infamous crime was the murder of nurse Maria Fashing in 1975. The duo lured her under false pretenses, then kidnapped and ultimately killed her. Their motive was a mix of financial gain, power, and a disturbing satisfaction derived from their acts. Arrest, trial, and conviction. The Kallingers' violent spree came to an end in 1975 when they were arrested and charged with multiple crimes, including the murder of Maria Fashing. During their trial, the extent of their violent acts was revealed, painting a chilling picture of their father-son partnership in crime. In 1976, Joseph Kallinger was found guilty of his involvement in the murder of Maria Fasching and several other crimes. He was sentenced to life in prison. Michael Kallinger, who was only 16 at the time of the crimes, was sent to a juvenile facility. Legacy and impact. Joseph Kallinger's case serves as a grim reminder of the dark consequences of a traumatic upbringing and a pattern of violence. His ability to involve his own son in his violent acts highlights the destructive power of negative influences and the alarming capacity for manipulation within some family dynamics. Some interesting facts about Joseph Kallinger. Early criminal behavior. Joseph Kallinger's criminal tendencies began at a young age. He was already involved in theft, burglary, and fraud during his youth, hinting at a propensity for unlawful activities. Abusive upbringing. Kallinger's childhood was marked by an abusive and troubled household. His father was an alcoholic and reportedly abusive, which may have contributed to shaping his own violent behavior. Violence within family. Kallinger perpetuated the cycle of violence within his own family. He was known to physically abuse his wife and children, creating a distressing environment similar to what he experienced as a child. Father-son partnership. One of the most disturbing aspects of Kallinger's crimes was his collaboration with his teenage son, Michael. Their partnership in criminal activities, including murder, reveals the extent of manipulation and control he exerted over his own child. Multiple crimes. Kallinger's criminal history wasn't limited to a single incident. He engaged in a spree of violent and criminal activities that escalated from theft and fraud to abduction and murder, kidnapping and ransom scheme. The murder of Maria Fasching wasn't their only crime. The Kallingers also engaged in kidnapping and extortion, with their scheme involving kidnapping victims and demanding ransom payments from their families. Manipulation of son. Joseph Kallinger's manipulation of his son Michael is a testament to the power he held over him. The fact that he was able to involve his teenage son in such gruesome and violent acts is a chilling example of his control and influence. Psychological analysis. Kallinger's case has been studied by psychologists and criminologists to understand the dynamics of family-based criminal partnerships and the role of traumatic childhood experiences in shaping violent behavior. Impact on criminology. The disturbing nature of Joseph Kallinger's partnership with his son and the extent of their criminal activities have left a lasting impact on the field of criminology, offering insights into the complexities of criminal motivation and family dynamics. Life imprisonment. Kallinger's conviction led to a life sentence in prison, where he spent the rest of his days. His actions and the consequences he faced serve as a stark reminder of the destructive power of violence and manipulation within families.